All right, let's talk about Manchester United, because if you've been following them at all this season, you know it's been a total roller coaster. We're talking wild games, controversial red cards, behind-the-scenes moves, and a Premier League race that is going right down to the wire. So let's just get straight into it.
Okay, so to really get what's going on, you've got to look at this one match against Bournemouth. Seriously, this headline says it all. This wasn't just another game. You could say it was their entire chaotic season packed into 90 wild minutes.
So let's zoom in on that controversy. Why did this one draw feel so much worse than just dropping 2 points? Well, because it was just bursting at the seams with the kind of drama and frustration that had been following United all year long.
I mean, just think about everything that happened in this single game. You get a draw that feels like a loss. Your captain, Harry Maguire, gets a straight red card, and then on top of all that, you have 2 massive, highly debated penalty calls that just throw fuel on the fire. It was pure chaos out there.
So a game like that doesn't just happen in a vacuum, right? It's usually a symptom of something bigger going on. So let's try and diagnose the real issues here, because it's about a lot more than just one bad day at the office.
And here is the evidence. Just look at this recent run of form. A win, then a loss. A pretty good win, followed by that chaotic draw. See a pattern? Me neither. It's the definition of inconsistency. You just can't build any momentum like that. And at this point in the season, that can be absolutely fatal.
Right, and it's not just about the inconsistent results. There's this growing feeling inside the club that things are stacked against them. When you see headlines talking about the club being incensed, it tells you they feel like they're fighting against the officials, not just the other team.
And this is how you know it's serious. This isn't just a manager having a moan in a press conference. When the club itself makes a plan to officially complain to the people in charge of the referees, well, you know things have reached a boiling point.
So, with all this drama happening, what's the solution? How do you fix this? Well, it looks like the focus is shifting to building some stability, figuring out the leadership situation, and of course, looking at who they can bring in to shake things up.
Naturally, the first big question is always the manager. Right now, the interim boss, Michael Carrick, seems to have some backing. The club is saying they haven't talked to anyone else. But the massive question mark that hangs over everything is he the guy for the future, or is he just a steady hand to get them to the end of the season?
And beyond the manager, they're already making moves to lock down the future of the squad. You've got contract talks for the captain, Harry Maguire, but also for a really exciting young player in Kobbie Mainoo. They're obviously desperate to keep their star man, Bruno Fernandes, happy. And they're already looking for more firepower up front with guys like Benjamin Sesko.
So the strategy seems pretty straightforward, doesn't it? Step 1, lock down the core of your team. Keep your most important players. Step 2, go out and buy the pieces you're missing. It's a classic playbook, but as any fan knows, actually making it work is the hard part.
And they have to figure all this out while the clock is ticking on a super tight, high-stakes Premier League season. So let's take a quick look at the league table to see exactly what's on the line in these last few games. Okay, now here's the thing. For all the talk of chaos and inconsistency, they're actually in a pretty good spot. But look how tight that is. You've got Man City ahead of them, and then Aston Villa is just breathing down their necks. There's absolutely no room to slip up.
And third place, that's the big one. That's a guaranteed ticket to the Champions League next season. We're talking big money, big prestige, and the ability to attract the very best players in the summer. For a club like Manchester United, that's the minimum requirement.
But this number here, the goal difference, tells a slightly different story. It's basically how many goals you've scored versus how many you've let in. And plus 13, it's not bad, but it's nowhere near City's plus 32. It shows that United aren't blowing teams away. They're scraping by, winning tight games, which is a dangerous way to live.
So, back to the big question. Is that Champions League spot in the bag? Absolutely not. No way. With Aston Villa just a single point behind them, every single match from here on out is basically a final. The pressure is immense.
And just to make things even more interesting, there's this one final twist. Because of how the European competitions work, there's a chance the Premier League could get an extra spot in the Champions League this year. So the big question now is, does that potential safety net take some of the pressure off United? Or does it just make the battle for those top spots